welcome to this Google Digital Garage series, part of the Local Enterprise Office Look for Local campaign. Look for Local aims to highlight small Irish businesses in every sector, asking that the public look to support companies in their own locality when purchasing goods and services. This Garage series has been designed to prepare small businesses for the reopening of the economy and to ensure that they are in a strong position to take advantage of the huge move to online that has taken place since the pandemic first began. This is a series of expert-led webinars, and each one is worth watching. If you miss one, they will be available online once the series is finished. There will also be a marketing toolkit and a national database of companies available. Contact your local Leo for details. Thousands of small businesses across the country have already availed of the Local Enterprise Trading Online Voucher scheme. These vouchers are designed to assist small businesses with up to 10 employees to trade more online, boost their sales, and reach new markets. If your business has not yet availed of a voucher, then please speak to your Leo about how it can support your online success. Leos across the country are running a wide range of mentoring and training supports for businesses to help them get back up and running over the summer months. So check with your Leo to see what events they are running and how they can support you. This exciting partnership with Google is part of this summer's Local Enterprise Office Look for Local campaign that will be running in July. It will spotlight Leo clients from across the country and encourage everyone to look for local when they are buying goods and services. If you would like to get more information on the Look for Local campaign or how to get involved, then please contact your local enterprise office. Thank you very much and enjoy the webinar.
Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to the Google Digital Garage. Let me introduce myself first. So my name is Zoe and I'm going to be your host for today. I'm going to be presenting to you guys on getting your business visible online. Now, just to do a little bit of technical housekeeping, if you are having trouble seeing or hearing the webinar at any point, the best thing that you can do if you're having any kind of technical difficulties like that is just to refresh the web page. That usually fixes most of our issues. If you're still having problems, especially with the video buffering, you can go down to the bottom right corner of the YouTube video. There's a little cog there. If you click that, you'll get to your settings and you'll be able to edit those so that you can hopefully see the video a little bit clearer. So let's get started with the webinar. So as I mentioned, my name is Zoe and I'm one of the many coaches for the Google Digital Garage, which is Google's online digital skills training program. Now, today's webinar is a collaboration between the local enterprise offices and the Google Digital Garage, and it's part of the upcoming Look for Local campaign, which is to help you guys prepare your businesses as best as possible to maximize all of the opportunities that are available to you as the economy reopens. Now, as I mentioned, I'm one of the many coaches for the Digital Garage. My background is in digital marketing. I've been working in digital marketing for about 7 or 8 years now. And as part of that, I mean, a huge part of that is getting people visible online. Online visibility is a huge part of marketing. And I've been helping clients doing that for the last 7 or 8 years. So I'm hopefully going to be able to share a lot of my expertise with you guys today. But I'm not going to be alone. I am also joined by Amy, who is in the chat talking to you guys at the minute. And I can see that you guys have been chatting to her and saying hi to her as well, which is brilliant. So Amy is another one of our Digital Garage coaches, and she is going to be our moderator for today. Because the thing is, obviously, you can see and hear me, but I cannot see and hear any of you guys. And you might have questions throughout this session, or I might even ask you questions. And, you know, it'd be great to get some answers from you. But obviously, again, I can't see and hear you. So what we have is the live chat function. So alongside the video, we've got a live chat box where you can talk to Amy, who, again, is one of the Digital Garage coaches. And she is going to be answering your questions. She's going to be asking you some questions. She's going to be popping helpful links and tips, all of that sort of thing into the chat. So if you do have anything that you want to ask at any point through the session, absolutely just pop down into the chat and ask Amy, and she'll be able to help you out. And of course, we have got some question breaks as well. If there are any questions that Amy thinks need a little bit more detail to answer, or maybe that they just really interesting questions, she's going to pass those over to me, and I'm going to get to them in the question breaks that we have. So just another thing to bear in mind before we properly get started, we are running more Google Digital Garage webinars on a range of different subjects in collaboration with the local enterprise offices. So this right now is a series of 5 videos. So last week we covered digital marketing strategy, and next week we are going to be talking about SEO. So there's, I believe there's a schedule in the video description where you can see all of the webinars that are coming up. And also, of course, feel free to check out the new Google for Small Business website, which is designed to be sort of your one-stop shop for products, tools, and training that you need to help your business move forward. We've built a simple step-by-step online success guide to help you show up on Google, help you create or improve your website, reach more customers, and build loyalty, and work effectively from anywhere. Amy is going to be sharing a link to that in the chat as well. So take a look at the Google for Small Business website, as it is full of amazing, wonderful, helpful stuff. And lastly, of course, if you do have any feedback for today's session, we have a feedback form that's also linked in the description box. And once you complete that feedback form, then you will get a link that will let you download the content that you'll go through today. So if you want to have this presentation to refer back to, we'd just love it if you would fill out our feedback form in order to do so. So that is all of the housekeeping done. So let's get started with the presentation. So today we have got 3 sections and 3 main objectives. So the first is to understand how customers find your business, and that is going to be both online, but also how do they physically find your business? How do they find local businesses when they're looking online? We're going to cover that sort of thing. Then we're going to look at building your presence on both Google Search and Google Maps, because again, we want to emphasize local shopping in this webinar. Buying local is a big factor for a lot of people. And Google Maps is one of the ways that they find local businesses. It's one of the ways that I find local businesses. I'm sure most of us here today have at some point used Google Maps to find the businesses near you, and they have gained your business because they were discoverable on Google Maps, and we want the same to be true for you. And then finally, we're going to share some tips and some tricks for optimizing that visibility. We're going to have covered all the basics by that point, and we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of how do you really make sure that you are as visible as it is possible to be. Now, just some stats for you right here. So 3 out of 4 online customers use a search engine to find a business. So if you're looking for a business, you're going to pop over to a search engine, whether that's Google or Bing or whatever. The remaining 1 out of 4, some people use social media. Some people look for businesses on Facebook, for example, because a lot of them are on there. Some people use Google Maps to find businesses. So there is a variety of ways, but overwhelmingly, we're looking at search engines. And of course, 82% of smartphone users are routinely conducting local mobile searches. And by a local mobile search, we mean that they're taking their phone out and they're searching for something, and they're using the phrase near me. Baker near me, or Baker Donegal, or Baker Dublin, or something like that. They're using those mobile phones to find the businesses that are near them. That's 82% of smartphone users are doing that. It has become incredibly useful for everybody to have that little phone, that little computer in their pocket, so that when they need to look for something on the go, whether that is the fact that they're out and about, they're walking around, or maybe they're just on the sofa or in bed and they're curious about things, and then they're using their phones to find the answers to what they're curious about. And quite often that what they're looking for is a business. So we need to be present when those people are searching for businesses, searching for the things that are near them. So how do customers find you? And we're dealing with 2 different types of customer here. We're dealing with the local customer, and they are going to be very important. And it depends on your business, of course. A lot of you will have a local store, will have a physical location that people can come and visit. And then, of course, we're also talking about the less than local businesses, customers, people who live in other parts of the country or even other parts of the world that you can deliver your products and services to thanks to being online. You are going to be discoverable online as a result of that. So let's look at how they go about finding you in the first place. So thanks to the internet and thanks to smartphones, we have a complete change in our behavior. So it used to be the case. I mean, we've got an example up here on the screen, pizza near me. This is somebody who is using a search engine to search for the businesses that are near them. They are looking for a takeaway pizza. So they go to the search engine, they type in pizza near me. Now, when I was growing up, if I wanted a takeaway pizza, I would have a few options for discovering that. Either I would walk past a business, I'd walk past a takeaway, and I'd take a note of them, and maybe I'd grab one of their menus so I had their phone number, or somebody would post a menu through my door. There was no way really that I was going to be going about looking for these businesses. Of course, there were phone books as well. Google and search engines have made this so much easier. What I'd like you to do, just as a bit of an exercise, I'd like you to imagine that you are looking for a pizza. I know it's only 11 o'clock in the morning, but hypothetically, imagine that you are looking to order a pizza right now. I want you to take out your phones, and I want you to search for exactly what you would search for. Whatever words or phrases you would use to get that takeaway pizza, what would you search for? What would you put into Google, or would you even use a search engine? I'd like you to share in the chat, how would you go about searching for a takeaway pizza? And also, when you see the options that come up, I'd like you to think about which one you'd choose and why. And again, share that in the chat. Which one of the options that come up would you choose when it came to choosing that pizza? And again, it could be, you might type in pizza near me. Obviously, we've got an example up on the screen, but there are loads of different words and phrases. I'm not going to share any examples because I'll be interested in learning what you guys would put in to your search engines, to your phones, in order to find what you're looking for. I'm going to move on because there is a small delay between me speaking and you guys hearing it. So there will be a little delay between me getting the answers. So I'm going to just move on quickly. So it might be that searching for that product or searching for that service is really familiar to you. It might be that it's sort of habitual. But there are a lot of behaviors that go into this. So I want to think, right, how did we search for this? What search engine or platform did you use to search? I can see we've got some answer coming in. So is that Gunnar Fitzy? Has said they search for pizza and then location. Yeah, so for me, Pizza Leeds or Pizza Farnley. Great. It's a really common one. Again, it doesn't have to be near me. We can use the specific locations. Jeanette has said that you'd use the same words, exactly the same words, pizza near me. So that's interesting. We've got some more and more coming in. I can see that we've got the idea of ratings being mentioned. We've got those 5-star ratings. We're looking for the restaurant that's got the best rating, and that's obviously going to be really important. And also distance. How far away is that business? The best pizza restaurant might be 20 miles away. Unlikely that you're going to order from there. You're going to choose one that's going to get to you quicker and that actually is going to be able to deliver to you. So there are lots of factors that go into this. Me personally, I would use Google Maps. I wouldn't search for pizza near me or pizza location. I'd just pop into Google Maps and I'd search for probably takeaway pizza. And I'd see what comes up. And again, I would use the ratings. I would look at which has got the best star ratings. But I'd also be looking at the menus. I'd be going in there and looking at, right, what do these guys have to offer? And part of that is because of dietary requirements. I don't eat meat. So a big part for finding a pizza is making sure they've got a nice option that I can eat. So we've got loads of different factors that go into this that help you decide which we're selecting. And also we've got different ways of finding it because, you guys, we've got a lot of you who have used Google search. I've mentioned Google Maps. Yoga with Granel. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing anyone's names, by the way. Said pizza restaurant Kilkenny is something that you'd search for, but normally you'd go to TripAdvisor and look for the best rated. So we're not even going for a Google search at all. We're going straight to an online directory like TripAdvisor to find what the best rated option is. So you can see that how many different ways you could become visible in this way. So that's what we're going to look at, is how we can apply this to you guys. Thank you for your answers, guys. That was really, really interesting, really useful exercise there, I think. So everybody's search journey is basically the same. We go from search to decision to engagement. So the first thing you do is that you search. And usually that, again, 75% of the time, that's going to be through a search engine. You're going to go and you're going to look for Pizza Kilkenny, Pizza Restaurant Kilkenny, Pizza Near Me, something like that. Then you're going to get the search results and you're going to make a decision. You're going to look at what comes up and you make the decision to go for this particular site or this one or this one. And last but not least, you are going to engage with that business. And at any point, you can drop out of this search journey. It might be that you search and then you decide, oh, I don't want a pizza after all. And then you drop out of that journey. It might be that you've made the decision, but you're not getting engaged by the website. Like, for example, for me, if I think, oh, that looks like a really good pizza restaurant, but I go on there and it's got absolutely no good vegetarian options, well, again, I'm going to drop off. I'm going to leave that search journey. And it might even be that we get to engagement. We get to, I see a pizza. I want to order the pizza. I start ordering the pizza, but maybe the process is too complicated for me. I want it now. I don't want to have to go through, a million different options. So I drop off again. But every single search journey is going to go through those 3 steps. They're going to look for something, so you need to be discoverable. They're going to make a decision about which site to go to visit, so you need to make your site look appealing. And then they're going to engage with that site once they visit it. So you need to make sure your site works, that it looks good, that it provides them with what they are looking for. I realize that that's quite a lot. So I'm going to take a little bit of a step back and look at search. Why is search important? What is the importance of search in general? So it used to be that there was a saying, if you build it, they will come. And for local businesses, that used to be just basically how marketing works. You would build your business, maybe a bakery or a shoe shop or something like that. And people would walk past and they'd see that you were selling something they were looking for and they'd go in and buy it. However, now we are much more online than we used to be. So it's no longer a case of if you build it, they will come. You need to be found. You need to be able to be discovered because people are doing their research on search engines before they go out and buy anything. And quite often their shopping journey doesn't involve them leaving the house at all. They'll just buy online. Even with local businesses, you'll find that there are people who would rather buy online and get it delivered, if that's a possibility. So the shopping journey doesn't even need to involve leaving the house anymore. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to play a quick video on just how Google search works, because it's really good to have a background in this particular area. So I'm going to be quiet now and we're going to watch this little video on how Google search works.
Every day, billions of people come here with questions about all kinds of things. Sometimes we even get questions about Google search itself, like how this whole thing actually works. And while this is a subject entire books have been written about, there's a good chance you're in the market for something a little more concise. So let's say it's getting close to dinner and you want a recipe for lasagna. You've probably seen this before, but let's go a little deeper. Since the beginning, back when the homepage looked like this, Google has been continuously mapping the web, hundreds of billions of pages, to create something called an index. Think of it as the giant library we look through whenever you do a search for lasagna or anything else. Now, the word lasagna shows up a lot on the web. Pages about the history of lasagna, articles by scientists whose last name happened to be lasagna, stuff other people might be looking for. But if you're hungry, randomly clicking through millions of links is no fun. This is where Google's ranking algorithms come into play. First, they try to understand what you're looking for, so they can be helpful even if you don't know exactly the right words to use or if your spelling is a little off. Then they sift through millions of possible matches in the index and automatically assemble a page that tries to put the most relevant information up top for you to choose from. Okay, now we have some results. But how did the algorithms actually decide what made it onto the first page? There are hundreds of factors that go into ranking search results, so let's talk about a few of them. You may already know that pages containing the words you search for are more likely to end up at the top. No surprise there. But the location of those words, like in the page's title or in an image's caption, those are factors too. There's a lot more to ranking than just words. Back when Google got started, we looked at how pages linked to each other to better understand what pages were about and how important and trustworthy they seemed. Today, linking is still an important factor. Another factor is location, where a search happens. Because if you happen to be in Ormea, Italy, you might be looking for information about their annual lasagna festival. But if you're in Omaha, Nebraska, you probably aren't. When a web page was uploaded is an important factor too. Pages published more recently often have more accurate information, especially in the case of a rapidly developing news story. Of course, not every site on the web is trying to be helpful. Just like with robocalls on your phone or spam in your email, there are a lot of sites that only exist to scam, and every day scammers upload millions more of them. So just because instantvirusdownload.net lists the words lasagna recipe 400 times, that doesn't mean it's going to help you make dinner. We spend a lot of time trying to stay one step ahead of tricks like these, making sure our algorithms can recognize scam sites and flag them before they make it to your search results page. So let's review. Billions of times a day, whenever someone searches for lasagna, or resume writing tips, or how to swaddle a baby, or anything else, Google software locates all the potentially relevant results on the web, removes all the spam, and ranks them based on hundreds of factors like keywords, links, location, and freshness. Okay, good time to take a breath. This last part is about how we make changes to search, and it's important. Since 1998, when Google went online, people seem to have found our results pretty helpful. But the web is always changing, and people are always searching for new things. In fact, 1 in every 7 searches is for something that's never been typed into the search box before, by anyone, ever. So we're always working on updates to search, thousands every year. Which brings up a big question. How do we decide whether a change is making search more helpful? Well, one of the ways we evaluate potential updates to search is by asking people like you. Every day, thousands of search quality raters look at samples of search results side by side, then give feedback about the relevance and reliability of the information. To make sure those evaluations are consistent, the raters follow a list of search quality evaluator guidelines. Think of them as our publicly available guide to what makes a good result good. Oh, and one last thing to remember. We use responses from raters to evaluate changes, but they don't directly impact how search results are ranked. So there you have it. Every time you click search, our algorithms are analyzing the meaning of the words in your search, matching them to the content on the web, understanding what content is most likely to be helpful and reliable, and then automatically putting it all together in a neatly organized page designed to get you the info you need. All in, 0.81 seconds? Wow. Anyone else ready for dinner? Interested in learning more? We've got a whole website dedicated to how search works. Just click right here. Want to read the search quality rater guidelines for yourself? Click right here.
Okay, brilliant. So hopefully that was useful. If anybody does want to watch that video again, Amy, I believe you will be sharing that link in the chat. So that's basically how Google search works. Good that we've got that overview, because now we're going to look at how you can tell if customers are searching for your products and services online. Because as we've just seen, Google is, whenever somebody searches for anything, Google is going to try to give them the absolute best, most relevant results using all of their wide range of factors, over 250 different factors. So first thing we need to know is, are they searching for your product, your service? What words are they using to search for? Because if they search for something and you're not there, that's a missed opportunity. You know, they're looking for, let's stick with the Italian food theme, seeing as we've looked for pizza and lasagna. If they're looking for a takeaway pizza, and you don't use the words takeaway pizza on your website, Google doesn't know that that's what you provide. So it's not going to bring your website up. So we need to know what our customers are searching for. One option to do that is something called Google Trends. So this is a free tool called Google Trends. Amy, again, if you wouldn't mind popping a link to that in the chat, that would be amazing. It's available at no charge, and it's just a website that you can pop onto online. And what you can do is you can look at search terms and look how many people are using them, and even look at their interest over time. So we can see, for example, that interest in plumbers near me in the United States seems to peak, go up and down, and possibly that's to do with weather patterns. Maybe these are times when there's pipes freezing over or something like that. But you'll find all sorts of things as well. I think at the beginning of lockdown, with the coronavirus, there was a huge peak in searches for things like banana bread and sourdough bread because people started baking. So you can see how these search terms trend over time, and you can look at the search terms that are relevant to your business and your industry and see what language are people using to talk about you. You might say that you are an authentic Italian restaurant, but people aren't searching for authentic Italian restaurant. They're searching for takeaway pizza. And if that's what you provide, then you need to be there showing them exactly that. So you need to be using those words on your website. So we've got our first question break here. I'm just going to pop over and see if we've got any questions from the chat. Doesn't look like anything at the minute. Oh, actually, I can just see that Sean has asked, maybe it's for the SEO session, but what are page titles and what is the difference between meta tags and meta descriptions? Sean, that is very SEO, but don't worry, we've got time to very quickly go through them. So things like page titles are just ways that you can categorize the text on your site, because again, Google is an algorithm, and algorithms are very, very clever, but they're also very, very stupid in a lot of different ways. And one of those ways is Google doesn't know what your website is about. It's trying to work it out through things like matching words and things like that. But it can't just read the text that's on your website and understand it, because it's a computer. It doesn't have that level of understanding. But what it can do is that it can look at the words that you've used in things like your page title. So if you choose the title of your page and you pop that in as a page title, Google can look at that and it can say, okay, well, that's the page title. Therefore, the words that you've used in that page title must be broadly what this web page is about. Meta description is when you search for something in the Google search results come up, you'll see first thing that you'll see is the page title. Under that, you'll see a few lines of text. That's the meta description. And again, it helps Google and it helps your customers as well. It helps the people who are searching online understand what exactly your web page includes, what exactly it's about. So they know whether to click on it or not. And Google knows whether or not to recommend it, how high up the rankings it should be. Hopefully that's helpful, Sean. As you said, it's a bit of an SEO question, so we won't have time to get into the real nitty-gritty of that, but hopefully I've given you a good sort of broad brushstroke answer there. So that looks to be our only question, so I'm going to move on to a second question: where to build your presence, how to help customers find you, both local customers and people who are from a little bit farther away. So this is what a search engine results page looks like. And most search engines basically work in the same way. So at the top, we've got the search query. In this case, it's Stasia's Bakery. This is what somebody has typed in, or they've used a voice assistant and spoken the words to get the search engine to search for them. But that's the query. That's what they're looking for. Underneath that, the first thing that will come up are the ads. Usually you'll get paid text ads. We have got a session on digital advertising if you want to know more about ads for yourself, but we're not going to really cover them today. You also might get shopping ads, as in this case, there are some shopping ads where you can click and you can go straight to those products and buy them. Underneath the ads, you have got the organic search results. Now, this is what we're going to be focusing on a little bit today, and this is what SEO is all about. These are the results that Google says are the most relevant results for what the user has searched for. And then on the right hand side, we've got a business listing. So in this case, the search query was for a specific business name. So Google can, with a lot of confidence, say that this user is searching for that specific business. As a result, it can bring up that business's business listing. And that is a little side window, as you can see, and it has got every single thing that you would really want to know about the business in order to make a decision. So it's got pictures, it's got the Google reviews, it's got contact details, opening hours, links to the website, links to where you can get directions to how to find that business. We're going to go through that in a little bit more as to how you can get visible on the Google business listings, but they are a very, very important part of what we would call local SEO. And that is making sure that the local customers around you are able to find you. Google business listings are a big part of that. So we'll go into them in more detail later. So as we've mentioned, there are the three areas we can get found on Google. There's the organic search results. And remember, those are no money changes hands between you and the search engine in order to rank higher on the search results. They are entirely based on what the search engine thinks is the most relevant answer to the search query. So your job as business owners is to try and make sure that you come up as a relevant answer for the search queries that your customers are searching for. We've got the business listings, which are the local business listings, online portfolios, you could call them, because they contain all of the useful information about your business. And then last but not least, we have got the paid search advertising, where you basically pay to get your result to the top of the Google search results. However, you will have a little ad, little text bubble next to it that shows people that they are looking at a paid ad. And most people know that by now. So search engine optimization, we have touched on a little bit. It's the practice, as it says here, of helping your website show up in the organic, non-paid search results, both increasing the quantity of traffic and also the quality of traffic. And by that, we mean, we want to make sure that the people arriving on your website are the people who are most likely to make a purchase, the people who are for whom your site is the most relevant thing for them. Now, as we said, Google's got more than 200 different factors that help it determine how to rank a web page. So there's a load of some of the most important aspects are, first is content. If you publish content on your website, whether that's blogs or updates to your landing pages, things like that, Google is going to be able to see that you're updating your pages, keeping them relevant, and it also provides the search engine with a lot more words that it can use to try and work out what your website is about and who it is the most relevant for. You can also look at things like links to your web page. So people who link to your page increase the ranking that you're likely to get. And also, the more people who visit your page and the better it performs. If you've got lots of people coming to your web page, they're staying there for a long time, they're going to other pages through your website, they're staying on your website and moving through it. And if they're sharing links to it, all of these are indicators to the search engine that you've got a good, high quality site, and that's going to be relevant to a lot more people. So how do we go about optimizing? What do we do for the optimize in search engine optimization? Well, first thing we do is look at what keywords people are searching for. Now, you can use Google Trends to find those. We've already mentioned that. You can also use a tool called Google Search Console, which again, there's no charge for it. And that enables you to look at what people are searching for that led them to your website. So if people are coming to your website through Google Search, Search Console will tell you what terms they searched for in order to find you. You can also use Google Keyword Planner as well, which lets you browse the different keywords that people use so you can find the one that's most relevant to your business. Then we want to publish useful, high-quality content. The point of publishing that content is not only to get the different words and phrases onto your website to give the search engine a better idea of what your website is and who it is for, but also it gives people a reason to come to your website. The more useful your content is to them, the more high quality it is, the longer they're going to stay on that site, the more people you're going to attract to that site, and the more people are going to link back to it. And all of those are telling the search engine, you've got a great website, really high quality, makes it more relevant to users. And of course, we need to make our web pages search friendly. Sean, this is what you asked about, making sure that your title and your meta description are being used, because they are how the search engine works out what is on your web page. But also, those are what come up in the search results. So you need to make sure that your title and your meta description give an accurate picture of what your users are going to see when they click on that link and go to your page. Because if you provide something that's inaccurate, they're going to click on that link, they're going to go to your page, and they're going to see that actually that's not what what they are looking for isn't there, and they're going to leave straight away. And that means you're not going to get people staying on your website for a long time. You're going to get a really high, what we call a bounce rate, which is the number of people who come onto your site and then leave without interacting with it. A high bounce rate is a good indication to Google and to other search engines that your website is low quality. So we want to make sure that we're not getting that high bounce rate. We want to make sure that people who click on that link know exactly what they're getting into. In order to do that, we need to understand our user intent. What are our users searching for and why? So we can use different keywords here. So for example, we could use really short keywords. Here is an example that is not based on Italian food for once. It's trainers and running shoes. So maybe you use the keyword trainers. Okay. There's going to be a lot of different people searching for trainers. There's a lot of different businesses who sell trainers. You're going to be competing with a lot of people for that keyword. That means there's going to be, big brands like Nike and Adidas who are probably going to be able to get above you in the search results whenever someone searches for something as generic as trainers. However, if you optimize your site, if you use the keyword best running trainers for flat feet, well, that's something that people are going to search for, and they maybe aren't going to be able to find those bigger brands, especially if you sell that specialist product. Or if you've written that blog on how to find the best running trainers for people with flat feet, then you have a better chance of getting discovered in the Google search results. Similar for all of these, shoes for nurses is a nice short keyword. Durable shoes for nurses. Again, we're looking at user intent. Why is somebody looking for shoes specifically for nurses? Well, probably because they want something that's going to be durable, comfortable when they're being worn for long periods of time spent standing and walking around, but they've still got to look relatively smart. So, we need to understand the intent. Why are people searching for these things? All of this is really useful information if you can work it out by knowing your customer, but also by using tools like Google Keyword Planner to see what people are searching for. Now, I've mentioned Google Search Console, which again, a service from Google that is available at no charge, and it helps you monitor and maintain your website in the Google search results. So you can see how you rank on Google. You can see the average position that you are in the search rankings. You can see the average click-through rate. Now that means how many people who see, what percentage of the people who see your website in the search results click on that link. If you've got a low click-through rate, then maybe it's because you're not giving them an appealing reason to click on that link. So you might need to edit your meta description and your title a little bit. And as I've mentioned, it also lets you see what keywords bring up your web pages. What are people searching for that leads them to your business? Because if you know that, you can start using those keywords more. You can understand a little bit more about your users' intent. Why are they searching for a business like you? What is it that they're looking for? Let's talk a little bit about local SEO now. So SEO in general, people all around the world. Local SEO is for local businesses that serve their communities face to face. And the cornerstone of this is to get your business listed on a directory like Google My Business. So that's what we're going to look at now. This is a Google Business directory. We've shown it on, this is what it comes up when you're in Google Search, and this is what comes up when you're in Google Maps. And obviously this is what it looks like on both a phone and either a desktop screen or a tablet. So it's hard for us to overemphasize how important mobile searches are when it comes to SEO, because we've said before, 82% of people regularly look for local businesses using their smartphone, usually by using phrases like near me. But as we've mentioned, as we've seen with our pizza little exercise, we use different words as well. Near me searches have grown over 100% year on year. And the top searches includes things like pharmacy open now near me, takeout restaurants open now near me, things like that. There are all these terms. And what these people, by searching for those, what they are likely to get is an option to go to Google Maps. Because if you type in something like near me into a Google search engine, Google's going to understand you're looking for the businesses in your local area. So a map is probably going to be helpful for you right now. So it's going to link you to a Google map, and it's going to show you all of the different options for takeaways or chemists or anything like that in your local area. If you want to get found through local SEO, and really recommend that you do, there are 4 steps to creating a good Google My Business listing. And that will enable you to be discovered by all those local customers, because when things start opening up, people are going to be looking for the businesses around them. So first thing, you can either go to business.google.com or you can download the Google Business app. And then you can add your business. Now, it might be that you find that there's already a listing there for your business. That's possible because if somebody has left you a Google review and you haven't set up your Google business listing, Google will set up a kind of a basic Google business listing for you so that that review can go somewhere. So don't worry if there's already a listing for your business. All you need to do is just say, yep, that's me, and claim that business. Enter your information in. There'll be a step-by-step process that'll just ask you for specific bits of information. All of it is pretty pretty standard. You should have all of it to hand most of the time anyway. And then you need to verify your listing. The easiest way to do this is just to get Google to send a postcard to your business address. That postcard will have a code on it, and you can input that code, and that just basically verifies that, yes, you are the owner of this business. Easiest way to do it, although there are other options. Now, I can see we've just had a question come in from Maria, which is sort of great minds think alike, because I was just about to mention this. Maria has said, I've set up my business from home and I don't want to put my actual address up. Is there a way of having an area on Google Maps rather than a specific address? Maria, yes, there absolutely is. You don't have to list your address on Google Maps. You can list, most commonly what you can do is you can say, this is the area that I serve. So I can deliver my products to anybody within this radius. Or you can say that I am located in, Dublin or something like that, and just have general, I'm located in this vague area. Because, yeah, lots of people don't want to publish their address, especially for online-only businesses. But it's still worthwhile having a Google My Business listing. I actually found a business not long ago because I was looking for, I was just looking on Google Maps, but I can't remember what for, probably a pizza restaurant based on all of the things that we've gone through today. And I happened to spot that there was a sort of a crystal healing business near me that I thought I'd walk down and have a look at. And actually it was online only, but I still ended up making a purchase because I do have a friend who's very into their crystals. So I found an online business through Google Maps. So it is still possible. It is still worthwhile because it doesn't hurt. It doesn't cost you anything to have a Google business listing up. And if you do have that Google business listing up, it means people can find you even if your business is online only. So here is a sort of a local case study for Gym Plus Coffee, a local example of a Google My Business profile. So like loads of other businesses, at the start of last year, COVID caused their business strategy to get completely thrown out the window, but they had to adapt to that and they thrived thanks to making a Google business profile on Google. Because there are loads of different options that you can include on your Google business profile that gives people the information they need to make a decision about whether to purchase. So this particular company had to actually close their physical stores. So they had to ensure that their online presence was nice and strong. And they realized that the business profile was really important for customers who use Google Maps and Google Search. And they ended up getting loads of good results in terms of engagement and views whenever they posted updates or posted photos on Google Business. So we are going to be covering some tips and features that you can use, but also take a look at Gym Plus Coffee's Google Business profile when you finish this session. There's a case study about them as well over at Grow with Google. And Amy, if you wouldn't mind sharing a link to that in the chat, that would be fantastic. So a way to keep active on Google My Business is to show people that you're active. Update your information. And that is really important, especially nowadays with COVID and lockdown restrictions and different businesses being more comfortable than others at opening up fully. You need to show people when you are open, are you open properly, or are you just doing click and collect, or are you open for delivery only? Let people know through Google Business. You can add photographs. You can even add a virtual tour, which is something you can do through the app, which builds up a 3D picture of the inside of your business. Again, if that's relevant to your company. And of course, make sure you're responding to reviews. If you get a great review, always good idea to go, thank you. Really glad you had such a good experience with us. If you have a bad review, don't worry, don't panic, but also don't get in a fight. The best thing you can do is just say, I'm sorry you had a bad experience, take responsibility for it, but also say, that's not our usual standards. And we're sorry that you experienced our business like that. We want to show you what we can really do, and then offer them something, maybe a discount or something like that, just to say, look, we're sorry you had a bad experience. We'd like to show you what we are like at our best, what we are like at our normal, excellent standards. And in order to encourage you to do that, we're going to give you, half price off your next order or something like that. So search engine marketing is the final thing that we're going to look at, and it's paid advertising. So it's using, paying a little bit of money to ensure that your search results, so that your business gets to the top of the search results. Now, search ads can appear usually at the top of search engine results. You might also get shopping links, and of course, it's going to look different on phones and tablets and desktops and things like that. Google decides which ads are shown in which positions based on an auction, and it's usually pay per click. So you would essentially be going, hi, Google, I will pay you €1, 50 cents, something like that. If you put my ad at the top of the search results whenever somebody searches for this particular term. So you are then bidding against all of the other people who might say, well, I'm willing to pay €2 every time someone clicks. Usually you'd be paying less than this. You can have up to 7 ad slots on each results page, but usually you want to be in the top 4. This is where most users click, in the top 4 ads. So creating a search ad, there are 3 simple steps. So we go to Google Ads and we log in and we create a search campaign. There are a few things that you can do. You can target geographically, for example. So you can say, I want people who are based in and around Dublin to see this advert. Then you choose your keywords. Now you can choose keywords based on a load of factors, but what you're really looking for is what words are your audience searching for, but also which words are less likely to have high levels of competition. Remember that if we remember our example about trainers, if we just try and get our ad visible when someone searches for trainers, we are then competing with Nike and Adidas and all the big brands who can outspend us. If we do best trainers for people with flat feet, we are much more likely to be able to be niche enough that there's going to be less competition and that our ads are going to cost less as a result. And then we need to write a compelling ad. We need to give people a reason to click on it. Understand what your customer is looking for. Remember, use your keywords in the ad, but make sure it's accurate. It's really, really important, because if somebody clicks on your ad, it costs you money. So if they click on your ad and they find that what they were promised isn't what they get when they arrive on your website, they're going to leave, and you will have paid that money without making any money for yourself. So you want to make sure you are being accurate, you're giving them a compelling reason to click, but that also is accurate to what they will see when they arrive on your site. So pausing again for questions. Sean has asked, is there any way to make your site more relevant to business rather than business to customer? Yeah, absolutely, Sean. But it's basically a matter of thinking about the keywords that your business to business customers will be searching for. So I don't know what your business is of, but let's say that your product or service is something that HR managers are going to be looking for. Maybe it's recruitment, for example, and you're going to get HR managers looking for recruitment firms. You need to think about what they are going to be searching for, because as much as you are marketing to a business, you're also marketing to the people working for that business. So look at the sort of the same tactics work for business to business and business to customer. There will be less of a focus on Google Business and local SEO, I would have thought, but not always. But it's a matter of understanding who your audience is. What's their job title? What are they likely to be like? How old are they? What's the gender balance? What interests are they likely to have? And using that to build a marketing plan that focuses on the individuals within the businesses that are going to be clicking on your search results, that are going to be looking for businesses like yours. So a lot of the same principles apply. We just need to think about, what are people going to be searching for while they're at work in order to find your company. That looks like all of the questions. So I'm going to move on because we're running short on time to boosting your presence on Google. We're looking at optimizing, how to get as well optimized as possible. So first thing, make sure your business's website works well on mobiles. We've said already how important smartphones are for searches, especially local searches. There is a link there, g.co/testmysite, that will test how well your website loads on mobile and test how fast it loads. That is so important, because if your sites start loading slowly, if you've got loads and loads of really high quality images, for example, it's going to take a while to load on mobile data, and it's also going to use up a lot of mobile data, and you're going to end up with people not wanting to go to that website as a result. So take a look at g.co/testmysite. Again, there is no charge for using it, and Amy, if you wouldn't mind sharing a link to that in the chat, that would be amazing. Make sure that you have claimed and verified your business listing. This is really important. Even if you think, right, I'm probably not going to get much out of Google Business, still claim your business listing, because first of all, it's a place for people to put Google reviews. So even if you don't want to set one up, Google will set up a generic one for you, and you can do a better job than Google can, basically. So make sure you're claiming your own business listing, but also you don't want somebody fraudulently claiming your business listing. So make sure that you are claiming it before anybody else gets a chance. As we've mentioned before, make sure your details are up to date. Things like opening hours, especially when holidays are coming up, for example, you want to make sure your opening hours are accurate. Keep adding photographs of you and your business and your products and your customers. Respond to those reviews. And also, if you've got more than one person working with your Google Business listing, make sure you're adding different managers. You don't want to just share your password. The number of businesses I have dealt with who gave their password to an intern, said, you sort the Google bit my business stuff, and then that intern left having changed the password, and that there's no way for them to get back into their Google Business account as a result. So make sure, rather than just sharing your password and your account details, add managers so that they can sign on without locking you out of the account. Here's another great local business based in Cork called Wardwood Design, and a great case study. So for the majority of small businesses in Ireland, the coronavirus pandemic meant rethinking how business was done. And that might have meant closing the doors. It might meant working out a way to deliver their business with social distancing measures in place. But either way, it means that people have had to adapt. And Gerard from Wardwood Design was no exception to this. He had to look at the different ways he could bolster his business, because he couldn't visit his clients anymore, and his clients couldn't come to him. So Gerard said, setting up my business profile on Google has been a huge help. Despite there being a lockdown in place, Google My Business allowed him to keep his customers updated on both Google Maps and Google Search, allowed him to keep showing people what he does and what he was doing throughout the pandemic, and prepare for when things opened up and post-lockdown, he could get business in again. Customers in the local area were able to discover his business set up appointments for when lockdown was lifted as well. So there's another case study on Wardwood Design, and Amy, if you wouldn't mind sharing that, that would be amazing. Take a look at that. Take a look at what Gerard did to get some ideas for your own business. If you don't have a website, you can create a completely free website through Google My Business. Google will automatically use the photographs and the information that you put on your Google business listing to create a website for you. It's not going to be an amazing website, but it is going to be free. It's going to give you that little bit of online presence. If it's a choice between a Google business website and no website, Google business website every single time, because even if it's not going to be amazing, it is going to allow you to have that site and have that online presence that you wouldn't be able to get otherwise. And you can edit it and modify it so it looks exactly how you want it to look. And it can eventually form the framework of a proper website when you are eventually ready to create one. Make sure your business listing is optimized. I know I have gone on about opening hours over and over again, but they are so, so important. You don't want people turning up thinking you're open when you're actually closed. It's just going to make people think negatively of your business. Add photographs as much as you can and encourage other people to take photographs as well. And again, make sure you are replying to reviews, building that trust and making people feel like, yeah, I'm happy to leave a good review because they are obviously happy to receive a good review because they replied to me and said, thank you. So make sure you're doing that as much as possible. Again, confirm your business hours. I know we've said business hours so much, but 54% of people who look for local information are looking for your opening hours. And in COVID-19, it's even more important to be accurate. You can also set up, using Google Business, you can set up special hours throughout the year. So, for example, you can specify that over Christmas, these are the hours that you're going to be open. You can specify, right, we are going to be physically open at this period of time, but we are open for delivery at these times. So you can set different types of opening hours. If you keep your info updated and accurate, people are able to choose your business with confidence because they will know that what they've got from you is up to date and accurate. So they're going to feel confident clicking on your website, going to your business and making a purchase. If you have temporarily closed your location because of COVID-19, you can reopen it, or you can list yourself as temporarily closed through Google Business, and you can reopen it once the temporary closing has finished up. So there is a link at the bottom, support.google.com/business, where you can get more information on this. And Amy, again, if you wouldn't mind sharing that link in the chat, that would be incredible. Make sure you're using posts, keep customers updated about what is new. Treat it a little bit like social media. Whenever you've got something new, any news about your business that's going to affect your customers, put a post on your Google Business link and add support links to allow customers to buy gift cards or donate directly if you are a local business that is unable to open at the minute. Really, really useful thing because people want to support local businesses. Make sure you add attributes as well, important details, things like, when people are sitting outside, do you have outdoor seating, for example? Do you accept contactless payment? Do you provide gift wrapping? Is the location wheelchair accessible? Big one for me, I'm in a lesbian relationship. So my big thing is I want to know that the business I'm going to is LGBTQ friendly. Because I want to feel like I'm safe at a business. So make sure you're adding these attributes to give your customers as much useful information as possible. You can also look at your insights, which gives you a little bit of data and analytics on how you are performing through Google Maps, through Google Business and Google Search. So again, these insights are just available at no charge through your Google Business page. They will give you loads and loads and loads of useful data. I would recommend that you just go through there, look at all the data that you've got, see what you can learn from it. But I'm going to move on to our final question break. And we are running really out of time. Sorry about that. And it doesn't look like we've got any questions at the minute. So I am going to just start closing up. But if we do have any questions, just let me know. And there's still a little bit of time if anyone has anything last minute they want to ask. So thank you for listening today. Your next steps, if you want to learn more, Remember, check out the Google My Business Help Center if you'd like to dive into Google My Business a little bit more. There are tips on specific industries there as well. Make sure you're looking at the new Google for Small Business website. This is your one-stop shop to find the right tools and the right resources for your business. We've got the step-by-step online success guide. We've got the digital toolkit on there as well. And we've got tips for dealing with COVID-19. So definitely take a look at that. We've also got loads of other webinars and also online courses, and the links are there. And Amy, if you wouldn't mind sharing them as well. We've got loads more options for learning online and continuing your digital education. I've seen we've just got a question come through. Can you have more than one business listing if your business has more than one brand located at the same address, for example? Yeah, absolutely. That's more than possible to do. So there are plenty of businesses that operate from the same locations. That's absolutely fine. I'm actually not sure whether you would need a new email account to set that up, but I think you can set up multiple Google business listings using the same email account. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think you can. But you can absolutely set up more than one business listing for the same address and multiple locations for the same brand, of course, as well. For things like, you know, your Starbucks and McDonald's have got multiple business listings, even though they're the same business. So that is everything from me. Thank you so much. I'm sorry we have gone slightly over time, but thank you so much for joining us today. It's been amazing. We've had some great questions and great interaction from the chat. Huge thank you to Amy. She's been an amazing moderator, and I'm sure you would all agree with that. So definitely show some love to her in the chat and let her know how fantastic she has been. And from me, all I'm going to say is thank you so much again. I hope it's been useful. Good luck, everybody. Take care and stay safe. And hopefully I will see you again on another Digital Garage webinar at some point in the future. Goodbye.